Today we're going to talk about doing the layout for your advertisement. First thing that you need to start with is your background. As you look at this slide, what are they? And how do you use them in computers? These are your principles and elements. We are going to be focusing on not all of the principles and elements. Many of the elements, like line and color and things like that, are things that you know very well. However, we are going to be working on emphasis, scale, space, movement, unity, balance, contrast. All of these things are going into your advertising. You already know shape and color and texture and things like that. So how are you going to start to incorporate these? Well, like I said, you're going to start with your background. The background starts to create the mood. Think about it. Who's your target audience? Now, do you need to put your target audience right in the back? No, but you need to start to think about what kind of things would entice them. So this will start to lay out your unity. It's also going to create your movement of your advertisement. In this example, as you can see, the product is highlighted because the movement of the light going towards the projector. The background is dark because it is a projector for movies, which you usually watch in the dark. And what you might not actually be able to tell immediately, this is people in the background to convey that they are watching this movie, that they are sitting behind the projector. Even the M&M himself is faded out, so it's not the focal point like the projection is going in front of him. Now this background definitely creates movement. However, it becomes a distraction with everything. It's a bit too overwhelming. It doesn't allow you to focus in on the product. And getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, this is your product. However, this is competing with this. You're not sure if orange chocolate cream is a candy or whatever this is. This also goes to the quality of the image. This image is much clearer than this image right here. In addition, all of this is also way too large. This bottle should be incredibly larger. This background should be more muted. So be careful in creating a background that is too overwhelming for everything. After you've created your background, the next thing you're going to put on is your product. Your product needs to be a third or more of the entire advertisement. You also want to find an image from the internet that is a blank canvas for you to build upon. If you are looking for something and you're very specific on what you're looking for, you're going to find it. But can you copy and paste and do nothing to the image? No, that's essentially going to be plagiarizing. This is kind of my example for finding a blank canvas. Now there's not much put on here but the name and an image, but the bottle itself, it is a blank bottle that they added things to. The background actually is not bad. It's a little bit busy and it could be overwhelming. The product itself should have been larger. The text going on around here isn't easy to read, and this actually has to do with your contrast. Your background is a fancy background and you're using fancy fonts on top of that. This goes to contrast. Contrast isn't just light and dark, it is also different textures on top of each other, so be careful with that. Now this one was a bit better done. Background is a little calmer, still has a lot going on, makes sense, continues to create a color unity. The product is highlighted right in the center. It doesn't have to be in the center, it can be anywhere. Wherever makes sense. It just needs to be the first thing that you look at. That goes to that 1 second rule that you should read about. The product itself should actually have more done to it, but this ad is actually done fairly well. So you want to look for, like I said before in one of the other videos, the blank canvas. This one was really well done. They found a simple white sneaker and added a lot to product to be able to create what they were looking for. And again, not directly in the center. The background still brings you to the image and to the text. This is not competing with each other. It's fairly well balanced. Scale and balance. Your product, again, must be a third or more of the entire space of your advertisement. Here's my product. Is it big enough? Not even a little bit. All of the text is exactly what you're looking at first. That should not be the case. Your product name should be more emphasized as well. If the product were all around in all of these little circles, that would be a third or more, and actually that would have been really well done. This one, the product is right there, right in your face. This is fairly well balanced, but there are some things that are confusing when it comes to the background. All of this candy, yes, it is candy. However, they're using seasonal candy, and the seasonal candy makes it a bit confusing. Unless it was specifically for a particular season, but they combined it. We've got jelly beans and we have candy canes, and the things that looks like clouds are actually cotton candy. The slogan is getting lost. Great idea using another image to highlight one of your details. However, again, there are some things that it's a little bit confusing to see that they're trying to highlight. This one little detail down here, it blends in way too much. The other links on this announcement are from the WebQuest or Google site. The ad layout. There are 4 main elements to your advertisement. Your headline, which is your product name, your slogan, your price, your product image, your copy, your 5 other details, and the signature, which is your name and your company name. Right now, we've been focusing on product image. However, as you start to create your layout, you need to also be aware that everything from your product proposal, everything that you wrote, is also going to need to be included in your advertisement. All of that text information. You need to make sure that you're planning that out as to where that's going to go when you go to put in your product image. Your headline should stand out, font face, a proper use of white space. Now, white space doesn't mean that it's white. White space basically means that it is blank. Product should be eye-catching, proper scale, placed appropriately. And you need to keep in mind with your target audience the whole time. There are 4 standard ad layouts that advertisers use. So take a moment, look at these 4, think about your product, and think which one makes sense for you. Right now, for mine, I'm actually choosing number 3 for the example that I'm going to show you in a moment. You need to consider what the 1 second rule is. There are 10 different components. This is an article I'd like you to read through. All of the different things that go into creating your advertisement. Most of these things we've talked about, but what I want to focus in on is this 1 second rule. 1 second rule is exactly what it sounds like. Someone can look at the picture, turn their head away, know basically what the product is. They may not remember the price or may not remember the product name, but they can automatically tell you, oh, this product is, and in my case, popcorn, or whatever else that it could be. So you want to make sure that your product advertisement does pass that 1 second rule. One of the other things that you're going to see that's going to be listed on there are these different tips. These tips are coming directly from the advertisement rubric, which is also part of the WebQuest right here. So these tips that I've listed out are specific to working with putting in your background and your images. In my example, I've started my background from before, and you can see that I've put in my image. The popcorn bucket was originally the red bucket, so I've changed it. And then I took and added in that face, and as I was going through it, I realized I didn't want the whole blue filled in. I liked the way that the original one was, that had its own face on it. So I removed that face and just took off from my other image the parts of the face. And then I changed the color of the M on the bucket to the original color that the M's were. In addition, I added in the characters across the bottom, and I'm going in as well as changing the different color of my popcorn in all of my different layers. I still have already started to plan out. My product name is going to go up here, my slogan's going to go beneath it, my price is going to go beneath that. Some of my details are going to be on one side, some of my details are going to be on the other side. My company name and my name are going to be down here on the bottom.